Thomas.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Going good, Thomas. How are you today?
Good, good. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. A real pleasure. So, how's the
Yeah,
day so far?
pretty good, man. Where are you based out of?
I'm in India.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Good, good, good. So, Thomas, your new self-titled album is to be out on November 29th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the process and the production behind this new album?
Yeah. It's set to be released on November 29th, which is funny because here in America we got this thing called Black Friday.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's gonna be released on the same day. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, everything really, most of the production, actually all the production and all the mixing and all the mastering and most of the recording has been done here in my studio, actually, as you can see.
Well,
I'm pretty well equipped. I do a lot of tape stuff too. The only thing that was recorded not here was the drums, like all the drums and the keyboards that are
mm,
played by guys like Simon Phillips and Virgil Donati and these guys that I hired to play on some of these songs. But
yeah.
yeah, everything else was done here. It's really like
Fantastic.
my I did everything pretty much.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And few weeks back, you put up your first single, 1316, along with a live performance video. So, can you tell me a bit on the making of this video and about this song in particular?
1316. Here's a fun thing about the video versus the track on Spotify, like the actual studio track, and this is the case for every track on my album. Every time I do like a live performance of it, I do a different solo. Like I don't do the same solo every
Right.
time because I like to improvise a lot. So the version that's me playing like a live performance,
Mm,
which is just me. It's not the band is not with me because obviously it's Virgil Donati is on drums and he lives in Australia, so
mm,
it was not possible. But anyways, I'm playing the guitar live, and the solo was not exactly the same as on the album. And this is something that I like just to you know play different things. So, like in jazz, they do that a lot. Like they'll play a solo and then they'll perform the song live or in another context, and they'll play a completely different solo. And yeah, that's what I did with 1316. And the reason why I called it 1316 is because the time signature. The
gotcha.
time signature is 1316. So uh, people might not know. It's not a year. It's not a or a birthday or whatever. It couldn't be a birthday actually. 13. There's no 13th month. But anyways, it's the time signature 13th 16. So
Gotcha.
very odd and weird kind of Meshuggah would do that kind of stuff.
Fantastic. And I had the pleasure to listen to the entire album and nine mind-blowing songs, greatly worked, great composition, and you bring back all these amazing people to play on this album. It's total awesomeness with
Yeah, thanks.
prog and jazz combined together. It came out
Yeah,
really beautiful. So thank you so much for the musical awesomeness. And
thanks. I appreciate it.
as a creator, how do you feel about the outcome?
You know what, man? It's just the outcome is I didn't have anything in mind. Like I didn't have like a final product in mind. Like as opposed to when bands do like a concept albums, because I also play in bands where we do concept albums and the whole thing is a story, and like all the songs are uh created and composed and written to be part of a whole. But in this specific case, all the songs were like whatever comes out. So I didn't have a plan. I was just like, this is what I want to write. And I like jazz, so I wrote a bunch of jazz songs. And I like prog. I wrote a bunch of prog songs. Fusion, let's do fusion, whatever. And all this inspiration that I couldn't kind of express otherwise, I put it all in this album. And the thing that kind of brings it all together is I guess, well, there's a few things. There's the guitar playing is all my phrasing, so it's all my melodies. whether it's jazz or fusion or prog, like it comes out of me. A lot of it is improvised too, so it's very spontaneous, and but everything kind of is glued together by the fact that it's my phrasing, my melodies, and all of that. The arrangements change from song to song, but yeah, it's pretty much everything that I like put into one album.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I have also received a couple of more videos from this album. So do you have plans to release this as an official video before the release of the album?
Maybe not before the release of the album, but I've done for all the jazz songs, like the really 100% jazz, no rock, like the jazz songs that are tunes, I should say, that are on the album. I've made a video with the live band, recorded with solos, so I'm gonna have that, which is probably gonna come out a little bit after the release of the album, or maybe the same week. I'm not sure yet, but I've done a video of the jazz performances where you can see the drummer, where you can see the upright bass, because it's all really quote unquote traditional jazz. So that's something that I've done. Other than that, there was another song that's on the album. It's called Retold Story. Brian Tichy is originally on drums, and Derek Sharinian. I hired local musicians here in Montreal because obviously I couldn't bring these guys from the United States here in Montreal. But we did a video of the song Retold Story live in the studio, so played as a band, and this is already available on YouTube, so people can check that out. And again, the solos are different, improvised solos. People might listen to the song on Spotify, and then they go on my video and they go, "Hey, it's not the same solo. That's on purpose. I'm doing something different." Everything is spontaneous.
Beautiful, fantastic, fantastic. And have any big plans on the day of the release?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna do like I'm not gonna do show, like there's not gonna be a live performance because just because I want to keep the authenticity of the musicians, that played on the album. For some songs it's okay, but I prefer to just do social media. I'm going to promote it on online social media, talk about it as much as I can online. But there could have been a show, like a lot of musicians do, like a concert and an album launch party. But because I wanted, especially like guys like Virgil Donati, Simon Phillips, you can't find anybody that can play like these guys. It's impossible. These guys are one in a million. So that's why I preferred to not do a concert and mostly promote on social media. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Fantastic, fantastic. And post-release of this album, what is your next plans?
Well, for now, it's just the album is available for pre-sale, so we're selling. I've made a book, a tabs book with all the transcriptions of my solos, the solos that are on the album, and these are going fast. So what I'm doing is I'm signing, I'm autographing a lot of these because they're going fast. So right now it's just focused on the pre-sale, and then the day of the release, everything will go and people will get their books and their CDs. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, getting prepared for that big day.
Fantastic, fantastic. And the other side of you have your own music academy where you train students. You want to bring a lot of people to learn on their own, and you're also doing one-on-one session with students who are interested to do that. So how is this all coming up?
Yeah, I do. So I have pre-recorded lessons that people can purchase on my websites, and it's funny because all of the styles that are on my album, I have a lesson pack, pre-recorded lesson pack on that style on my website. So I do a lot of jazz, I do a lot of metal, I do a lot of fusion, and all these, I have a lesson pack for all these styles, so people can go to my website and purchase a course on how to play jazz. Obviously, it's not like how to play jazz. It's more like how to play jazz like me, or how to play metal like me, because I got my own style. Really, I can't really talk for everybody, but
Yeah.
I teach people how to play, you know, how I like to play, because it's all I know really. And yeah, also I get a lot of people that sign up for one-on-one lessons with me because they're interested in my technique and especially my sound. I don't claim to know everything about technique and all of that, but I teach people the way I play. So
Yeah.
uh, it seems like some people are interested. So I'm pretty pleased about that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And is there a part where someone who has no knowledge in music can come to your classes and learn it?
It would be, unfortunately, it would be kind of difficult. Well, it depends. If someone has no knowledge of music theory, they can probably get away with learning maybe the technical aspect of it. But for someone who has never touched a guitar before, it's not really my target audience. I'm not. They wouldn't necessarily be able to understand, and it's not because I don't. It's not because I don't. I can't teach beginners. It's just that it's not my target audience. I target more people that have some level of experience. It's just because it's the way it is. That's how it I don't know. That's the people that generally tend to
Yeah.
be attracted to what I offer. And I've taught beginners. It's just that generally I don't know. My style is very specific. I've been playing guitar for almost 30 years. So we're talking 96 I started. So that's like 20 almost 28 years,
Yeah.
I believe. So the beginner stuff for me is way back.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, so what happens is when I teach a beginner, I'll tend to just go too much, and they'll be overwhelmed, and yeah, so that's why I chose to more specifically target intermediate to advanced players.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thanks so much for sharing, Thomas. And how how has this musical journey has been for you so far?
So you mean like from the beginning
From the
to
beginning? Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, I started playing guitar when I was really young, so we're talking, like I said, 28 years ago. I started playing guitar, learning a few chords, and just it was my dad that bought me a guitar when I was a kid, and he taught me how to play, simple songs. Cat Stevens, I believe, was like the first song that I learned was "Wild World" or something
Yeah.
like that. And then just later on I became interested in shredding and like solos and metal
Mm.
as I grew a little bit older. We're talking like maybe 9, 10 years old, maybe 11 years
Yeah.
old, because I'd heard Metallica Hit the Lights, and
Yeah.
that's what clicked. Like for the first time, I had heard Santana, Clapton, and all these guys, and Jimmy Page from my father's music. He was listening to that stuff, but when I heard Metallica Hit the Lights, then I was blown away. Then I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay, there's another, like, a whole new world that
Yeah.
I want to explore. And then I dived deep into metal and shredding and technique, and yeah, and that was really what introduced me to that. And it's been, I don't know, more than 20 years ago actually. And then I discovered another band, Children of Bodom, which was
Yeah.
very influential for me,
Amazing.
extremely influential. Opeth, another extremely influential band. And then at some point in my metal quote unquote career, I would say, I felt like I had hit a plateau and I wanted even more than that. So that's when I got into prog and Planet X, Dream Theater, and then eventually jazz, because improvisation and just trying to push the envelope even more. Like guys like Alan Holdsworth, guys that do fusion with metal and rock, and how far can you push it? Um, and there's no limits. And the album is like just a bunch of all these styles, literally from the beginning all the way to today. I'm gonna turn 35 in 3 weeks, so it's almost 30 years of inspiration. It's in one album.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks for sharing. And I know there has been a lot of great, amazing moments over the years, but if there's something special that has happened to you that you want to share with me today,
Something special that happened to me
yeah, the highlight moments for you.
In my career.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a band called, I'm in two prog bands one is called In Silva, which is very, it's more prog rock. And last year, I believe it was the May 5th or something. Yeah, May 5th, we released our first album. So that was a moment that was significant in my career, because it was my first kind of official album release, as a musician, as a band. So that's something that's kind of significant in my career. Other than that, yeah, there was a time where and that's back in 2007, 2008 probably. I played drums. I also I was never the best drummer, but I played drums in the band. The band is called Dope Throne. They're from Canada, and they got quite big. Like, they're touring a lot. They're touring the States and Europe a lot. And I left the band way a long time ago. But yeah, that was another kind of aspect of my career. I played drums in a sludge band. It was like a stoner metal sludge, very heavy, very inspired by Electric Wizard and all that good stuff. Other than that, yeah, it was my album last year, and from my band In Silva, which you can check out. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fantastic, fantastic. And in future, what are the kind of collaboration that you want to do in your solo career?
I want to. There's one guy in particular I would love to collaborate with. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to reach it, but I mean, maybe. It's Gavin Harrison. If I can do something with Gavin Harrison, I would be very, very happy. I don't know, so many amazing players. Gavin Harrison, the drummer for Porcupine Tree.
Yeah.
Maybe do more songs with Simon Phillips. I had an amazing experience with Simon Phillips, because he's a good engineer. Like, he knows how to record music. He's a very good engineer. So when he sent me back the tracks, because he sent me the separate tracks, like kick, snare, all that stuff, I got the tracks. And usually as a producer / mixer, you need to do, balancing, EQing, some compression. He sent me the tracks raw, and I was like, whoa, that's it. This is perfect. I didn't do much. Like, it was just perfect. It was literally the sound was phenomenal, and the playing and the dynamics and all that stuff. So, and same thing for Virgil Donati. Like, I would love to do more stuff with him, because he really elevated my song to a whole new level. So yeah, it would be to collaborate again with these guys, maybe do a little bit more jazz, because on my album there's 3 jazz songs that are very really jazz, like no metal at all. They're completely jazz. Maybe do a little bit more of that, because I had a lot of fun doing that. And yeah, that's for the future. Oh, and another thing, I want to incorporate more singing. There's no singing on my album, but I love to sing. I love to express music not only with melodies, but with words too. So maybe in the future, in my albums, I'll add 1 or 2 songs that have lyrics on them. We'll see.
That'd be amazing, Thomas. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Thomas, finally, any message that you have for the fans?
I mean, first of all, thank you. Thanks to my fans, people who have pre-ordered the album and the books. By the way, the books they're going fast, so there's not a lot left. The CDs, there's still more CDs, but the books they're going really fast. So if you want to put your hand on a book, it's time now. And I encourage you to pre-order the CD and check out my other stuff, especially if you're into guitar. And I would encourage people that are not people that are really into metal and heavy hard rock music to open their minds to fusion and jazz and stuff like this, because it's a whole, there's not a big difference between the jazz world and the metal world, in the sense that they always push the envelope as far as dissonance and trying to push the boundaries. So I encourage people to check out more jazz, more fusion. Yeah, that's something that I would tell my fans. Like, if you're into metal, check out some other genres, especially jazz, like Miles Davis, that kind of stuff, like John McLaughlin. There's some crazy stuff that these guys do. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, I guess that's my message.
Fantastic, nice, Thomas. And Thomas, I want you thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity. And thanks for the and thanks for the awesome music that you are giving us, and for the upcoming album, which will be out on November 29th. We are all looking forward for the release and looking for more awesomeness from you in the coming days. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. All right.
Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.